Have you ever felt like you need a better way to start your day? Well, we're going to break down a 3,000-year-old morning prayer that offers a surprisingly practical blueprint. It's Psalm 5, and it's said to be from King David. Think of it as a guide for finding your footing, for seeking guidance and justice before the day's chaos can even get started. Let's see how it works.
Yeah, it's ancient, but the way it's structured is incredibly modern. This isn't just a wish list you send up to the heavens. It's more like a mental framework. It's designed to give you a clear moral compass before you even walk out the door, so you can handle whatever the day throws at you with real intention.
And this one verse really gets to the heart of the whole thing. Prepare a sacrifice. That sounds kind of passive, right? But it's not. The original language is actually about strategically setting things in order, almost like a general arranging their troops for battle. So prayer isn't just talking. It's this act of deliberate preparation, followed by a watchful, hopeful expectation for what's coming next.
Okay, so to really get a handle on its power, we have to look at its context. This isn't just any old poem. It's a very specific kind of prayer with its own set of rules.
See, Psalm 5 is what's called an individual lament. But don't let that word lament throw you off. This isn't just complaining. It's actually a structured journey. It's designed to start with an honest, raw cry for help, and then move you toward a powerful declaration of trust. It's a process.
And you can really see its purpose when you put it next to the psalm right before it, Psalm 4. Psalm 4 is an evening prayer. It's all about finding rest after the day is done. But Psalm 5, it's a morning prayer. It's about setting the tone and placing your trust before the action even begins. Totally different vibes.
So the psalm kicks off with this raw, urgent appeal. It establishes a really personal, almost vulnerable tone right from the get-go. You can tell David is not holding back here. He's using words like groaning and cry to show just how deep his distress is. But notice the relationship he claims. He calls God his sovereign king, the ultimate authority, but also his personal God, someone he has an intimate connection with. And that duality, that's the whole foundation for his confidence.
All right, now we get to the absolute core of the psalm. It's built on this sharp black and white contrast. David lays out two totally opposite realities, the character of a holy God and the character of wickedness. And here is the crucial point. David's confidence isn't just wishful thinking. It's grounded in who he believes God fundamentally is. Because God is holy, he has to oppose evil. It's not just a preference for him, it's part of his very identity.
I mean, the contrast couldn't be more stark. On one side, you have a God who is just and truthful. On the other, opponents who are all about arrogance, deceit, and violence. This totally reframes the prayer. It's not just about asking for stuff, it's about consciously choosing which of these two realities you're going to align yourself with for the day.
Man, the language here is just haunting. Describing someone's throat as an open grave, what that means is their words don't just mislead you, they lead to destruction and decay. This really elevates the conflict from just a simple disagreement to a serious moral battle.
So, when you're faced with this intense conflict, what's the solution? Well, the second half of the psalm lays out a really clear path for anyone who's looking for protection and guidance.
And right here, the whole psalm pivots. David contrasts his enemies with his own approach to God. His entry ticket, so to speak, isn't that he's perfect. No, it's what he calls God's steadfast love, his unwavering mercy. And that posture of humility, that's the essential first step.
So this gives us a really practical 4-step game plan. First, you approach with humility. You're relying on God's mercy, not your own resume. Next, you pray for guidance, asking for the right path to be made obvious. Then you have to actively take refuge, which means consciously choosing to trust. And the result? You can be confident in his protection and favor. So let's bring this all together. How does this ancient poem actually work as a shield for us? Today. Let's connect these themes to the challenges we all face in modern life.
It's a fair question, right? Why should a psalm written by an ancient king in a totally different world have any bearing on our lives today? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Its principles are absolutely timeless.
What this psalm does is give us a model for setting a real intention for our day. It offers a moral compass for when we hit conflict. By teaching us to rely on a higher power for guidance, it actually builds confidence and resilience. And maybe most importantly, it reminds us that real joy isn't about winning. It's about aligning ourselves with what is good and right.
And this psalm wraps up with this powerful promise of a shield. I mean, just picture that. It's an image of complete all-around protection. This means God's favor isn't some small, passive blessing. It's an active, defensive weapon you can actually carry with you into your day.
In the end, Psalm 5 really leaves us with this one simple but incredibly profound prayer. It's a request for guidance and for clarity. It's admitting that, hey, we need a path made straight for us. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most powerful thought we can take from an ancient poem into the start of a brand new day.